Alright, let's talk about how Donald Trump just got stopped by a judge on his big plan to deport 1 million people a year. Yeah, you heard it right, 1 million deportations every year. Think about that. That's on immigration policy. That's Amazon Prime for deportations. One day delivery, but instead of a package, it's your neighbor. Quick disclaimer, this is satirical commentary on the news based on a CNBC report. It's my take, no hate intended. On Friday, a federal judge in Washington, D.C. basically told Trump, nice try, but you can't just round people up and yeet them out of the country without due process. And this isn't some minor ruling. This could derail one of the centerpiece promises of Trump's second term, mass fast-track deportations. Now, the government calls it expedited removal, which is just lawyers speak for skip the judge, skip the court, just send people back. And Trump's Department of Homeland Security tried to expand it so that the ICE could deport people who've been living here for up to 2 years without ever seeing a courtroom. But Judge Cobb was like, hold up bro, that's not how the Constitution works. Now here's the background. Before Trump, expedited removal only applied to people caught within 100 miles of the border and in the US less than 14 days. So if you crossed yesterday, Border Patrol caught you, boom, expedited removal, no judge, no trial. But if you've been here a little longer or you're living in, say, Ohio, ICE couldn't just show up, say, pack your bags and put you on a plane. Trump wanted to change that. He wanted ICE to have the power to deport people who've been here up to 2 years. Think about that. That's people who are paying rent, working jobs, raising kids, and maybe even paying taxes. And here's the kicker. If ICE says you've been here less than 2 years, it's on you to prove otherwise. And if you don't have receipts, congratulations, you're gone. Judge Cobb basically said this process is way too flimsy. Her exact words, the government argues that people who entered illegally have no rights under the Fifth Amendment. And she was like, if that's true, then none of us have rights. That's huge because she's pointing out that if you let the government decide who deserves rights and when, then those rights aren't really rights anymore. They are privileges. And if the government can fast-track deportations today, what's stopping them from fast-tracking other punishments tomorrow? Like imagine the police pull you over and we're like, yeah, we don't need a trial. We're just gonna send you directly to jail. Monopoly start. Do not pass, go. Do not collect $200. That's what Trump wanted for immigration. Guys, I don't hate Trump. I love him. Let's not forget, Trump campaigned on this. He promised 1 million deportations a year. That's not just a policy, that's a marketing slogan, like McDonald's, over 1 billion served. Except here it's Trump, over 1 billion deported. This is what he's selling to his base, and Judge Cobb just messed with his sales pitch. Now here's where it gets real. This ruling isn't saying expedited removal is illegal. The law itself is still valid. It works at the border. It works for people just arriving. But what Judge Cobb blocked is expanding it to the interior of the country. That's where people have built lives. That's where due process matters the most. Because if you're already living here, being part of a community, maybe even raising American kids, the idea that you can't just be disappeared overnight without a court hearing, that's chilling.